On January 3, 2025, the 9.1-mile, 4-station Foothill Gold Line light rail extension from Glendora to Pomona reached substantial completion after more than 5 years of design and construction. Funded mostly by LA County's Measure M half-cent sales tax, the extension is adding new Metro A-Line stations in the cities of Glendora, San Dimas, Verne, and Pomona. And while some work will continue over the months ahead, reaching substantial completion means that the new line is turned over to LA Metro to carry out final testing, pre-revenue operations, and training of their staff. Metro will determine when passenger service begins. When the extension opens later this year, it will forever link these 4 communities of the San Gabriel Valley to all of Los Angeles County, expanding access for county residents and visitors to jobs, housing, institutions of higher education, regional parklands, as well as great places to shop, dine, and play, all without the need for a car. In addition, the Pomona station will provide connections to and from the Inland Empire, with one easy transfer from the Metrolink San Bernardino line. Bringing this important regional infrastructure project to fruition was a complicated undertaking for the Foothill Gold Line Construction Authority, the agency responsible for overseeing its planning and construction, and the design-build team of Kiewit Parsons. Major construction began in July 2020, just as the COVID-19 pandemic was taking hold, and despite that, with the dedication and ingenuity of the project partners and support of the community, the project was completed on time and on budget. Over the course of the last 5 years, more than 400 dedicated staff and specialized crew members spent more than 2.6 million work hours on design and construction. After the first several months of design work, crews began the initial task of relocating 9.1 miles of freight track that initially sat in the middle of the now shared rail corridor. The freight track was relocated to the north or south to allow freight service to continue while making room for the new light rail system to be built. At the same time, crews started work to reconstruct 21 at-grade street crossings where trains cross streets at street level. Each grade crossing was a significant undertaking on its own, requiring long-term full street closures to allow crews time to relocate and protect underground utilities, relocate the freight track, install the new light rail tracks, and build new medians, sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and roadways. All crossings were upgraded with new safety equipment, most with quad gates to improve safety for trains, motorists, and pedestrians. Crews also spent several years building or renovating 19 bridges, some for light rail and some for freight. Most span small waterways and channels, but there are 4 new light rail bridges that now span major streets and intersections. 3 of those new bridges were built over streets in Glendora, over the Foothill Boulevard Grand Avenue intersection, Route 66, and Lone Hill Avenue. And in San Dimas, one was completed over the Bonita Avenue Cataract Avenue intersection. Each was required by the California Public Utilities Commission for safety. Once the bridge structures were in place and the freight system fully relocated, crews were able to focus on the new light rail system itself, installing 2 new light rail tracks, one for eastbound and one for westbound trains. The train control system, made up of miles of underground cables, signals, and sensors that monitor train movement, provide alerts and control the crossing safety equipment, and the power system, comprised of miles of overhead catenary system wires strung across 350 poles to provide power for the light rail trains. The power comes from the 8 traction power substations that were installed about a mile apart that convert AC power from local utilities to DC power, the type used to power the light rail system. Throughout it all, nearly 10 miles of decorative retaining walls and sound walls were installed along with miles of corridor fencing to prevent trespassing onto the tracks. The walls feature custom design patterns created by the project's alignment artist that pay homage to the importance Citrus played in the development of the corridor cities. And last but certainly not least, the 4 new stations were completed. Each station features a center platform for boarding, with material colors and features to honor the foothills of the San Gabriel Valley. Each station has its own parking facility, with amenities for riders arriving by bike, walking, bus, and drop-off. And throughout the final year, Each station's dedicated artist or artists team oversaw the final fabrication and installation of their public art pieces inspired by each city's unique history, culture, and landscape. To the staffs, residents, students, and businesses of Glendora, San Dimas, Verne and Pomona, we thank you for your patience and understanding over these past 5 years as this important project was completed. With completion of the Glendora to Pomona project segment, the Construction Authority has now completed 23 of the 25 planned Foothill Gold Line stations from Union Station to Montclair. The final 2-station project segment will add stations in the cities of Claremont and Montclair, completing the vision of connecting the San Gabriel Valley and Inland Empire to Los Angeles, and now Long Beach, by this one Metro Light rail line. With the funding secured in 2024, the Construction Authority anticipates awarding the design-build contract for the Pomona to Montclair segment this spring and breaking ground later in the year. The shovel-ready project is expected to take 5 years to build. To stay updated on everything Foothill Gold Line, including dates for upcoming station dedications for the Glendora to Pomona segment and the future groundbreaking ceremony for the Pomona to Montclair segment, visit www.foothillgoldline.org and sign up for project updates. You can also follow the project on Facebook, Twitter, or iwillride.org.